This mouse look on pound yen for this week. I'm going to start with the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can see that price has retraced all the way down to this zone to come back to retest this structure point, which was a resistance, and now potentially this should be acting as a support. Pushed all the way up, and we are not able to break above this zone, so we drop down. On the daily time frame, you can see how this zone is looking like. So now that zone is, you see that price has made a double top. So this is first top, here is second. So this is a double top. Once price got this double top, then from there we drop all the way down. Now last week we said this zone here probably was going to be a higher low zone. Yeah, was going to be a higher low zone, and for price to push up, right, we're not able to break above that zone. So if you were in that trade, yeah, potentially your TP was supposed to be the last high, the last daily high. So yeah, you would have closed that position in profit, right? Or like I said, price wasn't able to break above this zone. What the price did was we just used that zone, we used that as a lower low, and we pushed all the way up. Then we made a lower high, and from the lower high we dropped down. So now this double top that we are seeing on a strong resistance zone, like we said, this is a strong resistance zone, right? Strong monthly / weekly resistance zone. So price rejecting of that zone is telling us that okay, price wants to potentially make a counter trend on the daily time frame or maybe the weekly. Because if we get this double top, this double top is signifying reversal. This is a reversal pattern. So what that is basically saying is that okay, price wants to reverse. Now overall, we know we are bullish, right? If you check the weekly time frame, the monthly time frame, we are bullish. So if price is making a double top at this zone, right, then potentially from this zone we are going to start making like maybe a counter trend. You get, so from this zone we should get a counter trend, possibly, potentially. You get, we might see price push up to look for a zone where we can get a lower high zone. Then from there we drop, right, and continue the trend. On the 4-hour, let's use the 2-hour time frame. On the 2-hour time frame, you can see more detailed price action. We can see the zone that price used as lower low then high. Now I was supposed to enter this position. I think I was in the market around this zone, yeah, because once I saw that price made this zone, was not able to break above this zone, rejected of this zone, then potentially I said okay, this zone, we might use this zone as a potential lower high zone. Then I saw when we push all the way up to this zone. From this zone I was expecting some type of drop from this zone, but I was not on my phone, so I missed this entry. Not necessarily missed this entry, but I think I left it because I wasn't too sure of the trend or where price was wanted to go to or where price was headed to. So after I saw this rejection down here, I was supposed to enter short, but I was like, now let me be more patient for price to do whatever it wants to do. If we get a lower low, then yeah, potentially I'll wait for price to make a push up to make a new lower high, and from the lower high I will enter short, because then price would have already switched bearish. Because if you are getting lower lows, lower highs, and lower low, then yeah, that will potentially mean that okay, we've switched bearish. So that's why I was waiting for potentially at this zone. So I missed this whole drop, right? Missed this whole drop, and this whole drop was like almost 250 to 300 pips. It was crazy. That was by the way. So right now we are down here at this zone. This is a support zone. Like I said, on the weekly time frame, that was resistance zone, and now potentially we are going to use this zone potentially as a support zone, right? What I'm expecting from price is, now if you look at the structure, if I'm to explain this structure here, we can see that price has made a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low. Down here should potentially be a lower low. Now, if price is not able to make a new low, because at this zone, it's looking like price is not able to make a new low, because we are rejecting of this zone. If you look at this price action here, you see that we are rejecting of this zone. So this is supposed to be a lower high. This should be another equal high for which to drop down to make a new lower low, right? But potentially price might not do that, because why? We are rejecting of this zone. As you can see, we are rejecting of this zone here. You see this rejection now. So if price now, if we open and we see price push all the way up like a 2-hour candle, close bullish, like from this zone we push all the way up, close bullish, what that will be essentially telling us is that on the lower time frame, price is done with this downtrend here. So what that will mean will be, okay, we are making a low, a high, then that zone, this zone now will now be confirmed that, okay, this is a higher low zone. So from that higher low zone, potentially we should push all the way up, because like we said, we are waiting for price to retrace on the daily time frame. Right, the daily time frame structure we are expecting from price is for price to retrace, for we to get a new lower high zone, and from that lower high zone we short. So you get, if we are expecting this on the daily time frame, then on the 2-hour time frame, if you look at this price action here, this was a lower high, then we made this low, right? Now we push all the way up to this zone, right? Which we are supposed to use this zone as a new, this is an equal high. So this will be in a lower high, and from this zone we are supposed to drop down, right? But now we are seeing some type of rejection around this zone. You see how price rejected this zone, rejected here, rejected here. If you go to the lower like the 1 hour time frame, I think it's more clear. Cool. Now on the 1 hour time frame, you can see this rejection, rejected. And if we get a new candlestick that goes bullish and close bullish, then this should potentially tell us that, okay, this is now a new lower higher low zone. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So that should tell us that, okay, this is a new higher low zone. Then from that higher low zone, potentially we should go up. Then that will be the retracement that we've been looking for on the daily time frame. On that higher low zone, right, we could potentially have buys, and we just hold that buys to see to maybe to this zone here, 210 zone, or even higher, even because I see price coming even up to this pink zone. All what I'm saying right now is potentially if we get a 2-hour candle that close bullish like this, so what this means is, boom, if you were to put that into drawing, it will be, boom, we've made boom, down, boom, boom, boom. So what that will be is a 2-hour candle close bullish, which is this red line that I just draw now. Then the structure will be like this. What this is now telling us is that, okay, we made a low, we are making a new high, a low, and a new low. Now this telling us that, okay, price is not ready to continue down to make a new lower low. Instead, we are making a higher low. A higher low for what? For which to continue bullish, which is that retracement that we are looking for on the daily time frame. Now, if we get that, then potentially we should enter longs and targets even up to 210 zone, right? So if we get a bullish candle that closed, a bullish candle on the 2-hour time frame that we open, and that bullish candle still stays around this zone, like from this zone we go bullish, right? We did not break this structure here, we not break below this structure, we are still on this structure, then this zone will potentially be a higher low zone, and from there we should enter longs. If we enter longs, we could target 210 or even higher. So that's what I'm looking for. If I get a bullish candle here, I'll enter longs. Then our SL will be below this last structure point, which is the higher low. Then we should potentially see price push all the way up. If you get some type of rejection around this zone, then yeah, you could close your position because price can also want to use this zone as a new lower high zone for price to continue bearish, you get. Or you could push higher even up to this zone. Now I would have said, okay, we'll just wait for the retracement and wait for when price gives you a lower high zone and then you sell. But no, if we know that okay, price is going to go bullish from here, right? If we know price is going to go bullish from here, then why don't we trade that position? You get. If I see structure and know that okay, from here we should go bullish. If you don't feel like entering this, you can just wait for price to give you a new lower high zone, which could be this zone here, 210, or could be higher. You get me? It could be around the zone or whatever zone, because any zone around this zone above here, because any zone above here, we could use that as a new lower high zone. So if you could just wait for price to push up to give you a lower high zone. Now on lower high, will you know that okay, that is a lower high zone. Now what you get is on that zone you will see some type of reversal pattern or bearish pattern, but we'll just be patient. Like I say, you just be patient for price to give you clear price action before you enter any position. So yeah, that's my outlook on pound yen. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.